We are in Ratnagiri today, in a little village called Fungus. Sitting here with me is Mr. Rahul Kulkarni, who's been here for the last 7 years, running his own farm. And we're here to learn a lot about farming and more in relation with family farming, which is so very important to us, as Rahul is going to explain to us. Rahul, what is it that made you leave your high-paying job in the city and come to Ratnagiri to Fungus and start farming over here?
Okay. Uh, Very simply, I've got two reasons. Let me answer the first question. Why did I move to this village called Fungus? Because I owned lands ancestrally here.
All right.
Second important point is I came into farming after moving out of my job in city, an urban job, is because I learned, I understood the importance of farming is because it's all about growing food. Food is the most primary and the most important need of human beings and rather all the living beings. So even if I had money, I wouldn't be able to buy food unless somebody is growing food.
Correct.
So there is a huge community of farming who are the important parts of this world because they are growing food for us. And once I learned that, I wanted to be the part of that community.
All right.
As far as talking about family farming is what we are here for. Uh, Simply, let's help everybody understand what is family farming.
Yeah, I think they need to know.
Yes, family farming is all about farming and growing food for your own consumption or your family's consumption. So we are not talking about farming which is meant for commercial purposes here. Farming that is not part of somebody's more than livelihood and something like a business for him. Like I
Right.
grow food and I sell it to somebody, I sell it to the world,
So
and
that's
I earn money.
commercial farming.
That's commercial farming. Almost about 2.5 billion population of the world is believed to be into family farming, but uh, not all of them are only into family farming. They are into family farming as well as commercial farming.
All right. Something called scarcity of food is making the rounds these days. Now, how is scarcity of food related to family farming?
Yes, that's really vital for us to understand because this community that we are going to talk about, which is into family farming, is really one of the rare species who are left in this world now, and their numbers are decreasing day by day due to several reasons. The reason family farming is decreasing because the families are becoming smaller. There are few members left for me to work at my farm, and hence I have to start getting that input from outside, like commercial farming.
It's because more are moving towards cities to earn bigger and fatter salaries because here at the farm, I don't think they're earning that much, is it?
Now the question is that does that mean that farming doesn't have any benefits or farming doesn't have any profits? So that will actually take us into a lot more philosophical discussion. So let's not get into that. But uh, it's important that we learn, all of us, even though we are not into farming, let's learn about farming itself. And simultaneously, while we talk about farming, we'll also understand why family farming is important for the rest of the world.
Sure.
I think let's do that at the farm itself while we take a look at the crops as well.
Sure. So now
rather than
let's go
sitting here.
to your Anandachi Shet and have a look at his farm. Hi, we're here in a patch of farm, and Rahul's growing rice over here. He was just explaining to me that this is the transplant method behind over here, and this is the direct method of growing rice. Rahul, yes, can we continue about the family farming thing?
Yes. So when we talk about family farming, it's important to understand that which part of the country, uh, which farmer and from which part of the country is he from. The simple reason is because depending on the geography of the place, um, will he grow a particular type of crop. For example, we belong to this part of Maharashtra which is Konkan, and the most easily possible crop for any farmer is rice, and hence in this region, and hence the most viable crop for him will be rice, and that will be part of his diet, his staple. Also, what we were talking about is scarcity of food. Now, what means by scarcity of food is, let's assume that your class of 60 students,
Yes.
is the whole world. And let's talk about a story, say about 50 years or 60 years back.
Yes.
So maybe all 60 of you, your class students, owned some part of the land in your native places, and you all of you were into farming. Hence, you were growing food for yourselves,
Yes.
right? So all of you were happy and contented properly because you had enough food to eat.
And no dependency on anyone
No
else or
depend.
anything else.
Absolutely,
Correct.
absolutely. Versus look at the scenario that has got changed over last 60 years, where one by one the students from this class of 60 have gone out of farming and have started doing something else. Probably somebody's working with a bank, somebody's got some other type of business, somebody has opened a shop and has no time to do farming, but they still need food to eat.
Right.
They still need to buy the food from the market, from the local market,
From whom? The rest of the 20.
from the rest of the 20.
Okay.
So rest of the 20 students of this world have got a larger responsibility than they had, where they needed to grow for their family of probably 5 family members or 10 family members. All of a sudden now they have to take care of 10 family members of the rest of the 40 students as well.
Right.
So now you kids can imagine the pressure, the stress for the rest of the 20 students who are yet into farming, because they have to grow food for the entire class now. And day by day, these numbers will go even inverse, and probably only 5 students or 2 students will be left in the entire class who are into farming.
Right.
That is the story of the world of agriculture today. You see so much lesser farming today, and imagine that somebody who is beyond family farming and into commercial farming, that person has to grow a lot more food, but the size of his land is still the same.
Right.
He has not been able to acquire more land. He has not grown his land by 40 times. So that means he needs to grow 40 times more food in the same amount of land, for which he has to get into practices like chemical farming, which is now being called conventional farming. He has to give a lot more tonics to his crop. He has to get some genetically modified or hybrid seeds which will be able to grow more food than he ever could grow. So he will be happy because he is growing more food and he is being able to cater to the rest of the world, and he is also earning money. But his means of growing more food, which is chemical farming, is becoming hazardous for the rest of the 40 students who are just consuming the food. So the number of family farming or number of family farmers has to remain, it has to sustain, if not increase. Ideally it should increase, but if it is not to increase, it has to at least sustain, so that when these guys are growing food for themselves, they are not adding to the number of people who are dependent on a commercial farmer to grow food for themselves.
That's more on food scarcity. We'll continue with this conversation maybe in another part of Rahul's farm.
Yep.
We're here on a patch where Rahul is growing basmati rice, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. As you can see the maize of rice over here. And when will this be ready, Rahul?
They should be ready in about a month and a half from now.
Great, great. But this gets very interesting. Going back from our conversation, is it important that all of us just jump into farming? What is it like? Why?
Well, that will be the most ideal situation where most of us get into farming and growing food for ourselves. But looking at the situations in our lifestyle, that really doesn't seem to be practical, because I am not asking every software engineer to change his mind and come into farming, or every mechanical engineer or a doctor, because those jobs are also important. But what is more important is that we all must understand that we need to be more aware about the entire process of farming. That means, because it's not just farming, as I said in the beginning, it is about production of food. Yeah. So I will quickly like to ask you some questions, and I want some answers from you. Let's play it like a rapid round. Okay. The questions are not about farming.
Alright.
In the first round, I want to ask you, which is the brand of mobile that you're using?
I use an LG.
Super. What model?
It's an Optimus G Pro.
Okay. And what is a particular feature that you love of this mobile phone?
Oh, it's a pretty high-end phone. The thing that I love most is that it's got infrared, which and an inbuilt remote control function. by which I can control a lot of electronic devices. I can
Super. So much do you know about your mobile phone.
Yeah.
Which country does this brand belong to?
LG is from Korea.
Awesome. So I asked you 5 questions about your mobile and you had an answer for each of those.
Yes, mostly.
Superb. Let's move to another round. Just name 2 films which were released in last month.
Finding Fanny is one.
Okay.
Kick is yet to release, but yes, Kick is on its way anytime.
Awesome.
To be released, yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Tell me the names of the actors who work in this film.
Kick has Salman Khan.
Okay.
Has Salman Khan. You see the promos everywhere, so you know it's Salman Khan. And then Finding Fanny, you have Nasiruddin Shah, Deepika Padukone.
Okay. Got the
Yeah,
answer.
yes.
Got the answer. Tell me about your favorite film from the 70s or 80s.
If it's a Hindi film, then I love Sholay.
Okay.
And if it's an English film, then probably The Day of the Jackal.
Okay. Director of Sholay?
Is Ramesh Sethi.
Ramesh Sethi. Cool. And the other film?
The other film, Day of the Jackal, I don't know who the director is.
Okay.
I know who played the lead role, Edward Fox.
Okay. Yeah, so I had some 4 or 5 questions about the movie industry and Jared had an answer for each of those. I'm sure you two will have. And the third round is about politics.
Yeah.
Who's our Prime Minister currently?
Narendra Modi.
Wow. And which party does he belong to?
The BJP.
Okay. What about the ex-Prime Minister?
Manmohan Singh.
And
Congress.
which party?
Congress.
Okay. Any particular scam that you were really interested in?
Something the scam to do with Telecom 3G, scam to do with the Olympics, Mr. Suresh Kalmadi, and
Okay.
scam to do with Chala Gotala, Lalu.
Wow. So you know so much about politics, Arjun.
Yes.
Let's move to round 4. Which species of rice you consume at home?
Kolam, but I wouldn't know what subspecies. Kolam. Yeah, I know Kolam and some kind of basmati. Don't ask me which basmati. Because I know there are many kinds of basmati.
Where does it come from? You don't know. Where does it come from? Which season is it grown in?
I would.
Okay.
I wouldn't know.
And where do the vegetables that you eat come from?
I think grown in different parts of the country. I don't know where they're shipped from to Bombay. I really wouldn't know.
Okay. And what are their production seasons? In which season does which sabzi grow and when does it come to market?
I know more or less about fruits, but nothing about vegetables. No.
So here it goes. What I meant by asking these questions is that we know so much about every other thing in life but food, even though we eat it and we live with this food to be able to enjoy the other parts of our lifestyle. But if we don't know our food and we are not aware and we are not supporting or being part of this entire process, how are we going to live to be able to participate all of this?
Affects our whole existence.
Yes. Sir. So to answer your question, that how is everybody going to
Be a part of
this process? Very well said by Sir Wendell Berry from USA, who's a philosopher, a poet, a very good, well-known author, and a farmer himself. He's put it so beautifully. He says that even as an end consumer is somebody who eventually consumes the product. As consumers, we are an integral and inevitable part of the chain of food processing.
Alright.
Yes. So our awareness about how food is grown, where is it grown, and what is good about it, what is bad about it, will make a lot of difference to this entire process, to this entire circle or this entire chain. And hence we must start learning more about food. So probably then it requires more and more schools and our syllabuses incorporating the knowledge of farming. That probably requires our physical visits with the students to the farms and learning the process of farming, so that the questions arise in the minds of the students. They ask more questions, they get more answers, they start understanding it better, they grow up as more evolved consumers rather than just being people who have got enough money to buy anything that they want to. And then it is about probably looking for some chances to make friendship with the farmers. Connect with them regularly, understand from them the processing of food, the production of food, and probably use your capabilities of and access to internet and the modern world, bring that knowledge, share it with that guy. So it's completely interactive process. By doing all these kind of things, will you start getting involved into this process of generating food?
I'm sure you learned a lot about family farming today. Thank you, Rahul, for having me. Thank you for giving us a tour of your place over here.
Thank you so
It's
much.
great being at Anand Associates. Thank you.
Thank you.